need to start. Good morning, puppy. Yeah, you my girl. You are. You are. Yeah, cuddle time. Good morning. Good morning. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. I'm low today, but it's okay. It's hard for me to move these chairs. I'm Barbara. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words and encouragement yesterday after my kind of down day. It was kind of a down day. I felt like a Debbie Downer, but I am not the only one. And thank you so much for your encouragement. I cannot tell you how important it is to me. It's crazy this time, and having people who sincerely care about you and are, you know, willing to tell you how they're feeling makes all the difference to me. It really does. It's not always easy to go out on the internet and say, you know, I feel you, because we're in it together, and I do appreciate you letting me know how you're doing too. So thank you so much. I am feeling better for several reasons. One is the weather, and you know, luckily it's a kind of sunny time of year, because apparently the weather has been having some effect on me. But yesterday cleared up and was lovely in the afternoon, and we were out on the deck later in the day, so that was good. But the other thing that helped is, and I know this is true, and I've told you this before, because this isn't the first time I'm going, you know, through this, but not doing things that I have assigned myself in my head, or, you know, need to be done, or I want to have done, and not doing them is really bad for me and feeling good. So in the past I would have vacuumed and straightened up the living room, and, you know, I could still straighten up the living room because heaven knows it could use it, but I can't vacuum. There's my other girl. Say good morning. Say good morning, Munchkin. Yeah, there's my Maisie girl. Yeah, I know. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad you're up. Yes. No licking my clothes. All right, I'm on my vlog now. She was up with Dennis. So anyway, doing something that I have assigned to the productive column. And for the most part, crafting, for some reason, isn't necessarily on the productive column. Although if I do a lot of it, it does feel good, because crafting in and of itself is good for me. Ramble. What I'm trying to say is, I actually went out into my studio and made some head pins, which will be turned into stitch markers. Yay! And I even went out there and grabbed them before I came to talk to you. So this is what my stitch markers look like when they come straight out of the kiln. So I'll show you a few up close and personal. These are fun ones. These start with white glass, and then I roll it in frit. And frit is tiny, tiny little pieces of glass, and I have like confetti frit that's all different colors. And here's the nice yellow one. And this is called petroleum green. It's one of my favorite glasses in beads. How it translates into a tiny little stitch marker, I'm not sure. The other thing I did, and I'm sure you won't be able to see it, is I made some of these little lozenges, and these have my stamp on them. I have a chop. I have a chop where I can sign my beads when I make beads, and I can't really sign the little flowers, but bigger beads I can sign. And I have this little chop. I'll try to take a picture of it, because in the sun, I mean, I can see it here. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to take it. I'm not taking a picture of it. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to take a picture of it in case I don't. But anyway, it's a B, lowercase b, and the punctuation sign of a colon, which is the two dots, one on top of the other, because my last name is colon, not spelled like the punctuation. But anyway, so that's basically in my mind so that's my chop. I designed that chop for myself when I lived in Washington. When Dennis, we lived in Washington for 2 years. Dennis was working at the Microsoft campus in Redmond. He was not working for Microsoft. His company had a cooperative lab there because his company in Pennsylvania was, at that time, was one of the biggest companies using Microsoft products, and they were software developers themselves. In fact, they were like the original cloud for hospitals. He worked for a medical software company. But anyway, they were huge users of Microsoft products, and they were developing huge software platforms for hospitals. And so whenever anything new was coming or things were changing, it was important for them to coordinate. Thank you for that, Maze. You okay? Anyway, so they put this lab up. Puppy. Hairball. I thought only cats got hairballs, goofball. Yeah, are you okay? All right, yeah. So they put this lab up. It was only up for 2.5, 3 years. Dennis went with a couple colleagues and set up this lab and worked. We were there for 2 years. Boy, this is a way to. No wonder my vlogs are so long. So anyway, we were in the Seattle area for 2 years. That was my limit. I couldn't work remotely to my job for more than that. It just didn't. It wasn't really working for me, and everybody was on the East Coast, my kids, my parents, Anyway, so we were there for 2 years. So while we were there, Dennis the introvert was going out to the Redmond Microsoft campus and working with people he didn't, know very well, and, all this time spent the whole day with people, and he'd come home and be like, whew. And I'd be working at home, the extrovert, and I'm like, oh, somebody's here, let's go do something, girl, Yeah. So anyway, I ended up taking a ceramics class, and I ended up doing a ceramics class every semester. We were there. So I did a lot of pottery. I was throwing on the wheel for the most part. And the first lesson we had in the first class I had with this teacher, her name was Mi Wu, M-I-W-U. I have to look her up because she's an artist. Was she had us make a chop. And so we made a little plaster chop so that everybody could mark the bottom of their pot so that there wouldn't be any confusion about whose pot was whose. So I made this chop, and I used the chop on my ceramics. And as I was making beads, there are bead artists who you can pay hundreds of dollars for a bead. And, some of them, they usually have like a signature style or, whatever. But there was one woman who had a little piece of glass that she would insert that had her initials like in the glass. And so she would put an initial or something in her glass. But for the most part, these beads are not signed. So I contacted one of the companies that makes brass impression tools to make stars and whatever you wanted, and I sent them a picture of my chop, and I said, I want this chop, but I want it to be however big that is, which is, I don't even know, 2 millimeters. It's about as big as a size 2 needle. How many millimeters is a size 2 needle? So we had quite a conversation back and forth where she said, people aren't going to be able to read this. They're going to think it's a mistake. And I told her, talk about hubris. I told her, well, when jewelry made with my beads gets evaluated on the 2075 roadshow, Antiques Roadshow, I want the person to be able to say, oh, and this bead was made by Barbara Colin. So she said, fine, okay, and she made me, and it works perfectly. And don't you know, less than 6 months later, I saw that company advertising, we can make, you know, a signature imprint for you so you can imprint your beads. I started a whole new line of business for those people. I did. So anyway, it's the flowers cannot be marked. It's just not practical. So I thought I would just include a chop stitch marker with my stitch markers. So I made these. These are enough to send to the winners of the Craft From Your Stash knit along for Q2 and Q3, which I will be drawing today, and and a few extras. But the startup for me to make those is 0. I mean, I had to bring a bucket of water out, and it's already out there now. I do everything. My whole table's all set up to do them now. I had to cut the wires. That was it. I had to cut the wires. So it's not like, and I was out there for a little over an hour making what I made here. So I was getting tired. My back was a little achy. You know, I'm not in shape for it. And I thought, well, I don't have to do more today. I can come back tomorrow. So I might do more today because it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And I just try to get out there more regularly. It's not, you know, it's not as, it's only a mental hump, you know. It's easy. You just walk out, turn the lights on, throw a few switches, light a flame, and voila, you get to make things. And I am apparently a bit of a pyromaniac. So that was joyful to me to be able to make those yesterday, and that helped a lot. It helped a lot. So we did go to the in-laws, and I told my father-in-law that I had been out in the studio. My father-in-law, Dennis, built me the most gorgeous studio. I have a video of me making beads and things. I think it's like number 65 or something. You can find it. But my studio is like cabinet quality, cupboards with glass doors, and I mean, it is stunningly gorgeous. And if we do end up building a house on our property, this studio is going with me. I don't know how we're going to get it out of the shed because I really want it in the basement. And I can do it in the basement. It has to be super well vented, which it is in the shed, and it will be in the basement. But it is so beautiful. My cabinets are gorgeous. My shelving, my countertop is covered with ceramic tile because, of course, fire. So anyway, I made some head pins to make into stitch markers, and it really helped. So that helped, and your comments helped too. So, and the suggestion, which is absolutely true, that, you know, I've somehow managed to let doing the podcast weigh on me, and I don't know why, because I love my podcast. It's the buttons. It's that sweater. The sweater represents a barrier. And it's so weird because I love the sweater, but every step of the way I have fought myself on that sweater. Well, and that's not true because I kind of whipped through, you know, I didn't whip through anything because it's been a long time. We're coming up on 2 months since I started that sweater. But, you know, I was knitting on the body. I'm adding texture. I'm feeling good about this sweater. And then something happened and I'm not sure what. And I lost my steam and enthusiasm. And it's too bad because I love that sweater. Now, I've worn that sweater a couple of times because I've been sitting in my chair and I've been chilly, and I'm like, oh, but my sweater's right here. I can wear it. It doesn't need buttons, you know. I wore it before I put the neckband on, you know. So I love the sweater. It fits me great. So today I am putting buttons on my sweater and writing notes for a podcast. I'm picking winners from the Craft From Your Stash Knit Along, Make Along that I'm doing with the lovely Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn. Which reminds me, I haven't talked about the Hug Around the Neck Make Along that we're doing. Thank you so much, everybody who's participating. We have a thread on Ravelry and people are talking and posting and whatever. And that Make Along is supposed to end on September 1st. And I don't see why we should extend it. But if you need me to extend it, let me know. But I'm just going to pick, I think I'm just going to draw 2 names from the thread. And the first comment, not with no picture that I draw, will be, we'll get a pattern prize. And the first comment with a picture that I draw, we'll get a yarn prize and some stitch markers. And I will do that on the vlog. Since this is a make along, that's a vlog make along, as much or more than a podcast make along, because I guess I did mention it on the podcast, because I did do a podcast in June, so I mentioned it on the podcast. But I will announce the winners to the Hug Around the Neck on the vlog on September 2nd. Oh, I don't know about September 2nd. That's the day the cleaners come. September 2nd might be a little messed up. So I'll announce it on the 3rd. So you have till the 3rd. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Unfortunately, I took my sweater and all the things to do the buttons upstairs in anticipation of going up early, putting the buttons on and starting my podcast. And I think that's what I'm going to do because everything's upstairs and I'm not going to go upstairs again until it's time to do the podcast. So that'll be fine. But I need to think about what I'm going to talk about, and I need to draw the prizes and make my notes and think about what I want to talk about and that kind of thing before I record. So I may not, it's very likely that I do not put the podcast up today because I edit on Dennis's computer, and me doing the vlogs first thing in the morning and editing and getting them up does not interfere with his using his computer at all. He's not a morning person. He doesn't normally get on his computer in the morning, so it's not a problem. However, by the time I get organized and ready to do my podcast and record my podcast, it's going to be late afternoon. In fact, I might do a Chevy Rel and have a Cosmo while I'm recording my podcast. So it'll be late. So by the time I'm done with that, then Dennis will be ensconced on his machine, and so I'm planning on editing it tomorrow. So it should go up tomorrow, which will be Friday, and there you go. So I am wearing my Vitamin D by Heili Kiermier. I don't actually technically need it, but I am not overdressed. But I asked Dennis what the temperature was. He said 72, and it's going up to 80. The dew point, the overnight low last night was 52. So it is stunningly gorgeous, and it really does help my mood. So luckily I live in a sunny place that's only rainy sometimes. But so that has helped me. Making the decision to do the podcast today has helped me because I feel like it's real. My hair's ready. I have to do it today because I blow dried my hair. I might even dig up my lipstick. I hope you're not offended that I don't wear lipstick on the vlog. I might dig out my lipstick and put it on for the podcast. Oh, I'm wearing silver earrings, and these are blue lapis lazuli beads with a little pearl on the inside. I put on other earrings, and then I realized these are actually perfect with my dress, and then I went and put the sweater on top of it. But all day I will look perfect, and I guess I'll wear my dress on my podcast, why not, and then just show you my other sweater over it. So I'm feeling much better, and I do sincerely appreciate you guys. I don't know what I would do without you. I really don't. It has made all the difference to have you as part of my world, and I look forward to a time when Corona's gone and people can travel, and maybe you come near me and I'll drive to meet you. If you can't come to Pennsylvania, Dennis will make you cappuccino. If you want to come, we'll sit on the deck. I have 2 guest rooms. I will clean them out so that you can stay. And when I'm traveling, I will find you if I'm going somewhere near you. So, those of you in California, OMG, my heart is breaking. The pictures from California are heartbreaking. And I'm so worried. And they're doing rolling blackouts of electricity and everything. It's, you know, it is such a dangerous place to be. Please be careful. I mean, San Francisco's air quality was the worst in the world yesterday from the fires. And I don't think the fire is even threatening them in terms of burning San Francisco. And the place is, oh my gosh, the pictures are horrifying. And I just read an article. Think about how this is in America. There's nobody to fight the fires in California because the prisoners all have COVID. So the fires in California are fought by California prisoners. It's like slave labor. I don't know if they did that in China. We'd be howling about abusing people's rights. So anyway, so part of the problem California's having is they don't have a firefighting force because their prisoners all have COVID in their prisons and they're sick. And California's burning. So please, please be careful. Get your car ready. I don't even know, where do you go? Where do you go? Well, you know, Death Valley isn't burning. I mean, it is burning because it's 135 degrees Fahrenheit, but there's nothing to burn. I guess you head to Nevada. Is Oregon better now? Are you not having are you having rain? It's not the rainy season in Oregon. So anyway, I am horrified, and please stay safe. Please stay safe. And pray for rain. Pray for rain. I think it's maybe the only thing that saves anybody. But there's so much undergrowth, and that's the problem too. So it's unbelievable. Anyway, which is why I turn around and say I got a lot of nerve. You know, I'm safe and healthy and lucky, and I know it. And partly I'm lucky because I have you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow, and I will be talking to you later, but you won't see that till tomorrow too. So please stay safe. Please stay safe and stay sane. And thank you for helping me stay sane. I really